no doubt. Pop them bottles, let's pour it out. West Coast sun, we shine all day. Oktoberfest, we don't play. When I say dot, y'all say twigs. When I say alright, y'all say crew, R.I.P. Oktoberfest, community, but we the best. Coronado, turn it up. What? Stock fam, drink it up. Stock what? Oktoberfest, yeah. Community rip, we the best. Coronado, turn it up. What? Stock fam, drink it up. Yeah. Stocktoberfest, let's go. Stocktoberfest, let's go. Stocktoberfest, let's go. Stocktoberfest, let's go.
Jay Powell, let's go. Hey, it's your boys. You're watching the Community Europe Live. It's Wednesday, 2 p.m. You also just heard a Fed announcement, quarter basis point, right, GP? But we'll follow up with Fed. We'll follow up with Fed Chairman Jerome J, as I like to call him, Jay Powell, since we're homies. He'll be on the show a little later, so we look forward to that. Hi, Nick. Hi, GP.
Hey,
What's up, boys?
dude, IWM is pumping.
Everything's pumping right now.
Yeah.
What did we say yesterday, though, Nick, that you got tired of hearing? First move, fake move.
First move, fake move, totally. I mean, as far as the bulls are concerned, we want to see this stick and the typical kind of like bull market playbook where we see kind of, I mean, it'd be nice to, at the very least, if this does stick, to see it down open tomorrow.
Yeah, there's the 1 minute chart that, no, sorry, that's the 5 minute chart. Here's the 1 minute chart that you requested, Nick, to look at while we're doing this. So there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's get it down there.
I mean, the day did start out a little light, which, morning of Fed rate decision, that's pretty on par, right? Not usually a lot of movement until after the announcement. And here we go with some selling, but I'm not going to do this 1 minute bar to 1 minute bar for you guys on this action.
Yeah, no, I was fucking around.
Nick.
Yeah.
Yesterday on our show over on the YouTube, we talked about we completely expected a quarter. Everybody and their uncle's mother's grandfather also expected a quarter point. I've never seen like a 96 or whatever % certainty that it was going to be a quarter point. I know it's early. I know Jay Powell hasn't even come on our show or even talked to the media yet, but what do you expect? Well, I mean, what are you expecting from this expected quarter point decline in the rates?
I mean, expectation. I guess I don't really have too many expectations. I just want to see the move stick. I guess obviously we'll see what happens and how he speaks, how the market responds to that. Even if we, and again, from a bullish standpoint, I'd love to see it down open tomorrow and it get eaten up right away. We do stick. Ultimately, what I don't want to see is like a gap down and just a straight rug pull. I think that would be pretty gross looking. And then obviously I want to, see a strong close into the end of the week, Friday. We kind of spoke to that yesterday, and I think that's, I mean, coming hot out of the gate. I mean, this looks like a pretty violent rip up. So I'd be a little surprised if it didn't stick, but anything's possible.
GP.
I think the IWM is more, just as I'm like kind of watching the IWM.
Rippy McRipperson there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's obviously where the action is right now. SPY looks pretty good. Even the Qs. The Qs, I mean, basically pulled right into the 10-day, which, when we were talking yesterday and had kind of discussed if weakness kind of hit the tape, the 583, 585 would be kind of a logical place for price to pull into, and ideally we'd like to see that get supported. And obviously we're still a little up and off that, but yeah, this is good. I'm trying not to get too try not to get just too excited because I don't want to be disappointed if we don't get the continuation here.
GP, before we jumped on the show just around 10 minutes ago, you said, look at Netflix. That's all you need to know. I added the you didn't say that.
Yeah. And what
Tell us why that's all you need to know.
Netflix has been the market leader, right? For the better part of the last 3 years. We've talked about it over and over again. It was green right from the get-go this morning. Well, a lot of things were red. Do I expect a lot of faffling around here? Absolutely. I think the real move is going to be tomorrow anyway. Netflix has led the way the whole way through. It's been weak. It had a bullish engulfing week, and then it had an inside nasty week. And so far, it's doing exactly what it's doing there, right? Off the 20 week, I believe that is.
That is the green line is the 20.
Yeah. So that is pretty solid look. And honestly, I would like to see spot go green here too, because those have been the two beasts from someone's mother. Ultimately, and the bigger thing I'm having an issue with right now is crypto's response.
Flattish.
Not a great response, right? Like the dollar is getting crushed here. And then we talked about this on yesterday's podcast as well. The dollar was green for a little bit, but this is on the verge of accelerating to the downside. And when you have
it already has accelerated to the downside, GP.
Yeah, I was gonna say I switched to the DXY from the UP.
I think when you have outsized moves in currencies, they can potentially disrupt the markets in general. So I would have expected as a counterbalance to the dollar dying, that crypto coming up and roaring, and being flat is not the response I was expecting. Secondary is RTY, small caps, IWM, whatever you want to call it, tags all-time highs for the second time in the last 12 months and immediately resorts to selling. And this has happened before. They'll finish today nasty for IWM and then gap it up tomorrow. So it doesn't mean much ultimately, but for something that's been so beaten up and the only index not to really take out all-time highs in this massive bull run, I don't expect this type of behavior from the small caps. But small caps are erratic, and they're showing you just right now exactly how it is. I could see them
right back down to where they were when
bar today, and then ripping it higher 5% tomorrow. Right? That's how small caps behave.
So what's your base case then for the rest of the week, knowing that it's a quarter point? Are we going to have to wait until we talk to Jay Powell and hear him speak in a few minutes?
I think the market wanted 50 basis points ultimately, so you could see a news kind of sell-off, so to speak.
Yeah.
And things are weak, right? Like Tesla, as we've talked about yesterday and many times before, this CEO just bought $1 billion worth, and it's up 3% since he bought, right? And it's selling off faster than anyone else here. So, and it was weak all morning today too. So it's.
So did he buy at 400? Is that where he bought?
It was
he started buying at 375 based on his SEC disclosure.
Good job.
All the way up to like 390 something.
He's been watching the show too. Then he's a big fan of the show, I hear.
Yeah. So like the thing I did with Tesla yesterday was I sold 424 puts for some cash. They were going for $22 a piece, which puts it at, this is post earnings week, so it should decay, but it puts it at the price that Elon bought it at. So I'm like, I'm pretty comfortable with that, right? So
yeah.
You have delivery numbers is the only real other catalyst, unless Elon steps in and buys another $1 billion worth of shares. It's pretty evident that outside of Elon, no one wants this thing higher.
No one?
In the short term right now, dude, they're shorting the piss out of calls, the covered calls. Everyone thinks the rally's done in Tesla, right? It's already had a huge move, and I'm like, yo, when in what world is Tesla a 13% move higher, a huge move?
All right, the Qs have now gone red from the pop.
Yep.
SPY is almost there. And what about them small caps? So I was asking you those questions about how you see the rest of the week based on our conversation yesterday of sort of how we thought the rate game was going to play out, right? There's three options. It goes higher, it goes lower, or it stays flat. And what I was trying to get around to yesterday was with a quarter of a point pretty much guaranteed and written in, that signifies to me that the market's not going to like it because it priced in a quarter of a point a long time ago. And I think you're right. There were a lot of people who were hoping that maybe we get a half a point. And maybe we do, at the next meeting or a further meeting out, we'll need to see the dot plots. But short term, I think this is going to see a sell-off maybe. It's yet to be seen. I mean, we're basically flat for the day as of right now. But I think a quarter of a point or staying flat is either the base or the suboptimal scenario. So I don't think we're going to be seeing some massive wave of sell-off, but I think we are going to see a bit of a market tantrum here, maybe today and maybe the early parts of tomorrow. Nick, part of my concern about what you were saying was if the market starts low and then gets bought up, sometimes momentum continues on, right? And we could see a Wednesday evening, Thursday, Friday effect that I would think would lead into a low Monday even. But I'm not trying to be a fear monger or a scare tactic here. I'm just saying lower from here, not like 5% a day type of drop. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying I think it could be lower for here for the next few days.
Yeah, I mean, if I could totally see that as well. I think that the Friday close would probably be even a little bit more important than in that case. I think the Friday close would be even more important because I just want to see, again, I still want to see a strong close. I think that's kind of important to me. Where we're pulling into now, for instance, tomorrow, let's say we close week today. I would be buying a gap down tomorrow. I would be kind of in a wait and see on a gap up. I'd be weary if we gapped up tomorrow. I'd be weary of kind of a sell-off, continuation lower.
Yep.
And I'd be looking to try and bottom tick either kind of real heavy weakness tomorrow or even weakness carrying into Friday morning. That's kind of how I think I would be playing it, how I'd be looking at it. I think obviously there's always the chance, we gap up and just straight face rip. There's always a chance we do whatever and just kind of roll over hard. But yeah, like we said yesterday, queue up all the sayings, the first move, false move, what time frame are you looking at? Are you looking at the 5 minute? Well, yeah, because literally we ripped off the very first, 10 minutes, 5 minutes post announcement, and now we're selling off. So clearly the first move was the false move. But then you take it day by day, and God, a close right here, not saying we get it, but a close here would look kind of pretty. We're off the lows, just, looking at the cues.
Yeah. IWM, I just had to peek.
Yeah. We're off the lows. We've basically tested the previous breakout that we were at, last week. The 10 days right there, 20 days not too far below. I don't know. I think this is kind of to be kind of part of the course, kind of to be what's expected. Just
so let's I think we all agree that tomorrow is a pivotal day. If we see weakness and then it goes green, that's your all aboard sign, right?
Yeah.
GP? Is that kind of how you would see it?
So
Weakness to start and then get bought up. That's your everybody be on board.
I actually, I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get the weakness, right? Like
So you're saying what we're experiencing right now is what you're expecting is the lows.
Yeah, like so. Just looking at the action right now, I'm just sorry. That's why I'm a little distracted. Just need to pay attention, obviously. Looks like back tests on a lot of things, right? Like Tesla obviously took a gigantic dump right into the 2021 all-time highs, which is 414.50 immediate green candle. I don't know why this level matters. For whatever reason, we were here for 13 seconds 4 years ago, and it's become resistance support. But that's one of them. I'm looking at HIMS, which has been weak over the last couple of days, is not responding. HIMS has been a bottom indicator for a lot of markets. Like it was the first to bottom in April. It was the first to bottom a couple of weeks ago on that 4% correction. Lulu's still holding. Yoga pants for the win, I guess. Quantum names are still holding, right? This is ticks are still pretty good. Are you looking at ticks, Nick? They look pretty good. Netflix is still really holding. Yeah, it looks.
Yeah, it's yeah.
So like to me, this looks pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just it just feels like your post announcement gyrations.
Shake and bake.
Yeah, this is the positioning stuff, right? People are either long puts or long calls, and the first move down, why it's fake, is the coil from that materializing, right? Everyone expects. Let's say people were expecting puts, they buy a shit ton of puts beforehand, and then the gap doesn't materialize, right? So people cover, people do all these things, causing this small pop, and then it comes back and retests that level. And then you got to see what happens from here. Obviously, Jay Powell can change the narrative for anything because he's the boss. But they should have cut more, to be honest. So let's see. You want to see people stepping in and buying, and so far they are, right? Like it wasn't a huge sell. What I'm looking for right now is the small caps to reclaim prior all-time highs, which is 24.77 for RTY. And if
it's definitely our green light shitcoast season lives on for sure.
I think it still lives on anyway, regardless of what today's results are. All this stuff is Anyway, sorry, I'm not going to get into conspiracy.
No. That I think all this is good because we have different ways of looking at it, right? And this is why it's good to have the three of us just sort of chopping it up. If for me, similar to what I was saying, if we start weak tomorrow, and it gets bought up, that's your all aboard sign, in my opinion. If it stays weak all day tomorrow, Friday's your stick save, or it's going to continue being weak. And the old axiom, I mean, they're sayings because they happen so often. The market doesn't bottom on Fridays typically. That happens, but not that often. That would lead me to believe maybe Monday's the opportunity if weakness begets weakness. But right now we're just kind of treading water. We're down 0.75 of a point on the Qs right now, or percent rather. So we'll see. My thesis is first move is the false move, and Jay Powell's going to come out and say something, and I think we're probably going to end up higher today, and then I want to see what tomorrow does. I don't know that we're going to go green today. We may, but I would expect a lot of this play to get taken out. Basically, that's kind of just where my head's at, reading the market. But on these type of event days, you just don't know. You don't know why people do what they do and why action happens in real time all the time. So you just got to be nimble and go with it, right?
So technically speaking, the NQs just tested the level that I had, which is 24,353. It's the gap up from the contract rollover. It's the 2-hour 50 SMA, which is something that's been holding for a long time now. Technically right where we're at, right? So
bang off the 4-hour 20 as well.
Yeah. So this to me is the conversation we've been having since April. Technically, we haven't broken shit. And until we do, it's going to be hard to short. It may break here. And if it breaks the 4-hour 200 SMA, that's when you get like super short, right? So you got to see the ultimate trend break. But right now we just tested and we're moving right back up. I think yours is delayed a little bit. We're already over 24,400.
Ryan, thanks, producer Ryan, for hopping in the chat and saying about the dot plots. This is why I think the market's not thrilled that it's only a quarter point, but there's 2 more cuts this year ahead, according to the dot plots, which has been also foreshadowed as much as this rate cut. So I don't think the market as a whole can be too upset knowing that we're still going to get probably a quarter and another quarter at some time between October, November, and December, right?
When are those? Do you know? Actually, I'm not Google.
FOMC calendar. But while we're looking at that, we would just want to give a shout out to our friends over at Granite Shares and the awesome event of Stocktoberfest. Let me unshare my screen so we can do the Stocktoberfest thing here. There we go. Stocktoberfest in Coronado, beautiful Coronado, California, October 20th through the 22nd. Get your tickets, and you can use code HB for a discount. I think you gentlemen both have discounts as well, and I think you both shared them out there. But we're going to be there. We're just 3 retail schmoes out here grinding for a living, but it's all about community. So we want to be out there and see as many of you as we can. We also, we like bringing the information that we have to you. There you go. I finally got it up here. You can see the Stocktoberfest in Coronado. All this fun and awesome stuff. And thanks to Granite Shares for coming on board. You're awesome. We appreciate that. Tickets right here at the Hotel del Coronado. So we hope many of you can join us. We look forward to seeing you there. If you are, shoot us a DM. Get in our timeline. Say, hey, Bags, you're an asshole. I don't want to meet you, but JFDI, his beard is so awesome. I can't wait to meet Nick. Or GP has, made me a multi-millionaire. We love to hear those things. So holler at us if you're out there. We'd love to see you. Stocktoberfest in Coronado, October 20th through 22nd. Tickets, and don't forget to stalk our profiles and get a discount if you want to come. We'd love to see you there. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. The market is still doing what the market's doing. No real change there. GP, you were talking about Lulu a little bit earlier when your Netflix diatribe. What else you want to say about Lulu? You got anything about Lulu other than it looks like it's starting to round out a bottom there, maybe?
This has bottomed to me.
It has bottomed. You heard it there.
Right. And as we've talked about, things that bottom have a good mean reversion bounce, and then everyone who's bought the bottom sells off, and then we come back and retest somewhere around the lows again. So is it the bottom? No, but it's bottomed, which is always a process, right? So we've talked about it. I've sold puts out 1 year plus. I am also long now some January leaps. Like it a lot. It was green before anything else was today. It has remained green throughout this gyration and price action here. Yeah. It's right at the 200 SMA on the monthly, typically, which is rising, by the way, not declining. So, because it's rising, I think it's the bottom. Um, and I think you should figure out which way you want to be long, right? And so the way I'm doing it is selling the puts that hopefully by the time it bounces has a mean reversion, I can buy them back for pennies on the dollar and then use that cash to go buy shares when it comes back and retests the lows area, right? So that's the way I'm playing this, but everyone's got their own way of trading.
Nicholas, what do you think about Lulu here?
I was gonna say not totally my kind of trade, but if you pull up the weekly,
sure.
You've got that. Let's see here, the September 2nd wide range bar on basically the largest volume bar that you can probably go back. The following bar, you got like a tiny bit of follow through, and not much. Again, on massive volume, which would, I'd argue that was more buying than selling, just based on the lack of follow through there. And on this candle this week, you're starting to reclaim the low of that September 2nd bar. So if price can kind of climb up in and close above that September low week, I think you've at the very least got to trade back to 200, 210.
Yeah, it's a Morningstar weekly Morningstar as well, right? I think that's what you're identifying.
Yeah. So
I mean, who's sneezing at 20% these days?
Sure.
Right.
It's the gap, right? And the faster this gap fills, the more chances that this is the bottom, right? The longer this gap takes to fill, the harder to make that statement. So that's my thesis here as well. So I like it.
So GP, I'm surprised your inputs to get long. I don't think I've ever heard. I don't in all of our time of doing this. I don't think I recall you ever putting on one of those trades.
Yeah, I have. I don't always talk about them because that's just I'm starting to talk more about my approach and thesis in detail with you guys and the audience as well, because I think it's helpful. It can. I'm in the camp that when things bottom, that they mean revert out and then they come back and retest the bottom. So I thought the selling put strategy, if it is the bottom, of course, is a great way to kind of capitalize on that, because you can collect your premium and then you can use the premiums to buy shares when it comes back to retest it. Worst case scenario is you're long Lulu at 140 because I sold 170 puts and they were $33 a piece, right? So it's a no, unless it goes bankrupt, it's or it has further downside like crazy. It's a pretty good risk to reward trade.
I love it.
It's 12 months out, so it's capital gains at 20%. Multiple reasons.
Yeah, no, I love it. I have sold some of my best winners have been positions that I sold puts on. So those are the trades that I love to entertain when I sell the puts. Nicholas,
yes, sir.
You want to talk about some SMH and some semis a little bit?
Yeah, I thought that China Nvidia news was interesting. I mean, I guess anytime I hear monopoly, I think that's bullish.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, totally. And then at the same time, I thought, if that is the case and they're gonna start harping on Nvidia, whoever it may be, maybe that opens the door for the rest of the semis to run. AMD needs to go. I think, LRCX and CLAC are obviously my two faves. I did catch LRCX, but I passed on CLAC.
LRCX has gone crazy the last 2 weeks, Nick.
Yeah, and then NVTS was one that I mentioned, prior show was kind of looking good, and then the other one, AMSC too. We're all kind of set. So I just thought maybe
NVTS. That's a nice retest there, Nick.
Yeah. So I just thought, I was like, if they're gonna harp on Nvidia, and that's kind of the battle that they have to fight, I just thought, like, there's plenty of other names in the SMH that are set up and look ready to go. AMD, I don't know. I think I've maybe made money on one of every fucking 10 trades in AMD. It's just one of those names for me. I don't know.
GP,
No, it's not you. It is AMD.
Yeah, it's AMD. It's one of those "it's not you, it's me" situations.
Sure.
GP, you know how much I love AMD, and Nick, you know how much I love Lisa Su.
Yeah.
I was just doing some, looking at strength, and when I look at strength, you got to start with Nvidia, right? Nvidia is the big dog. So let's just pull this up on the chart real quick. Nvidia versus AMD. So this is how much Nvidia has appreciated more than AMD. So that's a stock that's up and to the right, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, a name that I own, right? Broadcom, same exercise. Same situation, right? So while we know AMD is a quality company, this gets me back to full circle on our conversation that we have, it seems at least monthly. Is AMD now really that big of a laggard? And do we entertain laggard trades?
I don't generally. If the setup is there, the setup is there. I guess when you mention or you say laggard, I guess I'm thinking of something kind of like really beaten down, but it's a strong sector. It's a strong sector. Even the
you look at AMD versus
setups.
Intel, right? Like that's what you want to see, right? That's what you want to see. But we can do LRCX, right? One of your favorites, Nick, versus AMD.
I got, interestingly,
AMD.
I've got a measured move at 250 on AMD if it can kind of hold this low here. So maybe.
GP, am I looking too much into this? Am I asking the right questions? You know how much I like AMD, but when I'm questioning, is there a better horse to ride? You tell me.
AMD trades like garbage. That's the reality, right? Whether it's the big brother or the little sister or the ugly cousin or the frog or the kitty, I don't know. AMD has never gotten the respect that Nvidia has, and it's warranted, right? That's the reality. Jensen kicks ass, and then Broadcom kicks ass as well. So, you gotta kick ass. That's the reality. And Lisa might just tap ass, right? She's not kicking ass. So
I love Lisa. So hey girl.
She's good, but she's not.
We'll see if we can get her on the show next week.
See, the thing about Jensen is he sets the industry, right? And everyone follows along. And so he's been ahead of the game on crypto, on AI, and almost every significant technology turn in the last 20 years. He's been ahead of the game, and then everyone plays catch up, right? So you're not going to get the same premiums on AMD unless they start setting the industry standards, and they haven't yet.
Yeah, I just told Ryan in the chat, I've made really good money in AMD, but if I had put all the money that I put in AMD in Broadcom back in 2020 and 2021, I mean, it's not even comparable at the multiple that my money would have grown, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm not sour. I love AMD. I still believe in the company, but at the same time, the realist in me is saying, are you too heavy this company, and should you branch out into more of the leaders? And then the bearish side of me kicks in. You know, I put my hoodie up, Holdingbags. He says, but Nvidia is too damn high. I want to buy Nvidia lower. Right?
So then sell calls.
Is that the answer, Nick? Just sell calls? Fuck it. Just sell calls?
If you think it's too high, right, and you think it should be lower, then capitalize on selling calls with your capital, right? Or sell puts, either one, right? Where you want to be long.
I mean, that or just hold your existing position and buy more.
Oh,
I mean,
if
it breaks 170 or doesn't hold here, it's got a range from 170 to 185. So you got a 15-point move down, puts you at about 155. That's just a retest of the prior range breakout. I mean, I know a lot of, most kind of, shorter term swing and Momo traders aren't going to want to hold a name under the 50-day, but I don't know. I still think it looks fantastic. I don't have a reason to sell any more than what I already have.
All right. Well, this is something I'll chew on a bit more. Nick, you were watching Howard's podcast earlier this week, and you brought something up to my attention that I thought was really impactful about what Howard said as far as where the state of things are. You want to share that?
Yeah, so he was on Joe Fami's show. I think it was down in Vegas over his birthday weekend, I think. But anyways, I watched it, and I don't know what I was really expecting. But Fami goes way back. He's an OG kind of Stocktwits guy too, and I guess Howard had been kind of a long-term mentor of his. And actually, so Perlman and Howard, I guess, talked him into buying JoeFami.com, and that's the whole reason he kind of started blogging and doing his thing. That's how the show started, but it kind of turned into just them shooting the shit. And Howard was, talking about his kids and, what, the life that they're living versus like the life they grew up living sort of thing. And Howard, my favorite quote in the whole thing was, if things are really if at this current, well, hold on, let me think about it. It was like, right now you can have a burrito fucking DoorDash to your home and dropped off by a drone in like 30 minutes or less. Like, how bad is it really out there? And yes, I'm not discounting the trials and tribulations that we as a country are going through, the planet as a whole, but it was like, dude, yeah, for sure. And he led on to speak to his kids, where it was funny because like the advice he's giving his son versus his daughter are like the opposite, but trying to bring them both back to the center, where it's like, dude, if like you're going to get on the internet and really start like chirping about this and about that, like you're yelling into the void. Like if it is that important to you, like go fucking do something about it, or like focus on you, focus on looking at yourself, focus on improving yourself. And if you can improve yourself and work on yourself, you're going to leave a more lasting impact on this planet versus just consuming yourself with all of the stuff. And I actually kind of had posted a thing earlier this week. I was like, dude, I feel like now is the time, if any, to like really kind of block out the noise that's distracting you from focusing on yourself so that you can be better, so that you can ultimately like get back. Anyways, that's kind of like, you guys should honestly, like, I think if anybody is out there listening, I think that they should give it a listen. It was, Fami really wanted to get into like, I think the whole point of the interview actually was Fami wanted to, on behalf of his listeners, wanted to pick Howard's brain on how to really invest in the private markets and get involved in various companies like ground floor. And it just turned into kind of like a life lessons type of show. So, yeah. I don't know. I was just like, yeah, it was a great show. I don't know what I expected, but I'm glad I tuned in and listened.
We're selling off a little bit now that Jay Powell is up at the microphone. We'll see how that holds and sticks. But Nick, I was listening to you tell that, and the drone dropping off the burrito. It really makes me think that we're headed into a place where it's going to be a recession of people not holding assets, similar to what it has been.
Yes,
and
I agree.
It's to me, it's a widening of the gap of the haves and have-nots, right? If you're holding in this interest rate reducing regime that we are currently going to be seeing at least 2 more times this year, we know reducing the rate at which banks borrow money and thus people borrow money, it's inflationary, right?
Yep.
But it also inflates the assets that you hold. I mean, we saw this in 2021, right? With the run up of all these names and cryptocurrencies. And if you're not already in them or holding them, you are going to be in a recession and, to use GP's term, somewhat locked out of being able to afford these things, right?
Yeah, that was a huge part of them of Howard talking about good degeneracy and bad degeneracy, where it's like, okay, if you have the time to be on the internet yelling about this and yelling that, when you could be redirecting that focus into learning how to invest, learning how to invest, like just putting your money to work and making it work for you. It's like, there's never been a better time. There's never been a better time to get involved and to start learning, because if you have a cell phone, you have access to AI, you have access to ChatGPT, Grok, whatever. The prompts that you can, like, we could talk about, like, social media as a whole being kind of like creating your own little echo chamber, but the way that you use ChatGPT or like these other AIs, it's the same thing. Like, the better the prompts, the better the results you're going to get. Like, yeah, you're right. Like, the distractions, I think, are what's going to really, really add fuel to the fire in terms of like haves and have-nots. Like, I see a lot of like, people hating on, capitalism and all this shit. And it's like, dude, no matter how you spin it, do you really think that like your time should be bartered out for free?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that like that everything is fair and perfect, but like to Howard's point, like the system in place is better than no system at all. And like, get after it.
Yeah, look where we're at, right? Look where we're at. And Randy brings up a good point. He says, hasn't it always been that way? It has, but I feel like it's been maybe more incremental. I think as we play the interest rate game, those become jumps as opposed to sort of slowly moving things out. It just makes some of these investments worth more. And if you don't have any, then that's costing you money too, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not in the game, basically.
The only way you're going to beat the inflationary game is to continue to stay involved and have your capital invested and working for you, like churning those dollars.
So we're currently at the low of the session, GP. I see you studying your screen. What are you looking at?
The dollar. It's very,
Still
very
Dixie. And Dixie did a U-turn. Look at that.
Yeah, it sure did.
Yeah. So that's good. in general. No acceleration to the downside, but kind of telling you that so like the dollar is getting bought, gold is selling, VIX is muted.
It's a buy the dip.
Yeah,
Right?
so that's what I was while you guys were talking and I was listening, but I was just looking at the price action to see what it is. We just had 3 or 4 extreme low ticks as well, so that tells you those are signs of a bottom, which is crazy, right, Nick?
Yeah.
And so told you that the RTY immediately failing up prior all-time highs was a concern, and looks like it's gonna shit on you all day today and then gap it up 4% tomorrow. Quantum names are still holding. RGTI is still holding pretty well. Apple is still green. Netflix is still really holding, and Netflix. Then that's what I keep staring at. Netflix, right? I'm like, how is this shit still green? It's still green, right? And so I like this. This is great.
Yeah, I
This
do too.
is-
I would
this
much
is-
rather see this than us have like just kind of ripped out of here.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think this is I can't say perfect scenario for bulls because we're still down on the day, but this is the way you want to take a balanced approach at going higher, right? As opposed to just a volatile event that all of a sudden gets retraced immediately or within a session.
Yeah,
I mean,
I like
yeah.
it. Overall, everything's kind of holding technically. We just retested the bottom and we held that as well on the NQs. Trying to give you real-time analysis here. Tesla is still holding the 414 level. Microsoft is barely down. The 4 components of IWM, XLF, XLE, KRE, and XBI are all green. And the second largest component is industrials, which is also green. I see a lot of red on my screen. And then I look at my account and it's down only like a quarter basis point. I'm like, all right, I guess I did something right. But I guess it's not as bad as the red on my screen.
Do you guys have any stink bids in for this action?
No, just alerts.
Just alerts.
Zero. To me, if we do, if this causes a sell-off, it's going to be quick. It's going to be nasty, and I rather wait for that quick and nasty. That I don't have. I'm already long enough that I don't need exposure on a stink bid to watch it then get more stinky.
He said, I already have enough longness.
I mean, this intraday price action is pretty much like par of the course. Is exactly what every Fed announcement is more or less like.
Is there such a thing as enough long? I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, there is, right. There's points and times in the names that I'm in right now, and small caps are still holding up really kind of well. Like I said, quantum. Look at RGTI. Pull up RGTI.
Sure.
Not even phased.
Right?
Yeah, it's up for the day still. Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah, and it's near all-time. I mean, it's near all-time highs, right? Like it's sitting there.
Yeah,
it's sitting there at all-time highs,
above the
and
pivot.
it's not falling off.
Above the pivot, or the prior high, I should say.
I think the all-time highs is 2142, right? So, yeah, market doing its thing, but I look. FSLR is green, right? Solar is usually the first one to die on these things. So, Lulu's still green. The crypto piece is still kind of annoying me.
Randy said it's bear traps. Randy's saying it's bear traps.
Seems like it, Randy. I
am now a proud owner of Strategy.
Okay.
Mr. Yeah, I don't know. I still like this is kind of like part of the course. I think kind of back to what we had kind of discussed earlier. Like I'd be a little weary on a gap up tomorrow. If we gap up tomorrow, give it the first 60 minutes. Let it kind of play out. If the gap holds, might be opportunity to add to a long position. If it doesn't, it fades. Let the lows get taken out. And either try to bottom tick or you're looking at the reclaim of today's low as kind of an entry. Yeah, so far I kind of like where we're at. It would look prettier if we closed off the lows, but I mean, again, beggars can't be choosers.
We just got a massive extreme tick for minus 1440.
Oh shit.
But that's a good thing.
It can continue going, so I don't know if it's necessarily good, but look at that. RTY fails. It always fails. It is like it's in its DNA. As I said on my post a couple of days ago, it's got hate in its heart.
It does. It does. Hey, chat, is there anything you guys want us to look at? We've got about 10 minutes before Jay Powell comes on.
Everyone's glued to the Jay Powell.
We got to see if he'll come on our show first next time, as opposed to doing his presser.
Yeah, totally.
Let's talk about China names.
Sure, yeah. Would love to.
All right, these are showing insanely relative strength in this market right now. All right, look at Baidu, look at Baba.
I just got the FXI up now, GP, just to show. This is a large cap China. And then everybody knows KWEB. That's nice. I like that. Don't you like that, Nick?
Yeah, it looks like it's going stage 2.
I mean, it's smiley facing at you big time. That's how I do my pumpkin for my jack-o'-lantern there.
If China's if FX, so if we're starting to go stage 2 here, would TSM be the best semi name to no? Okay.
Nope.
What is?
Well, in the short term, yes. TSM and Nvidia are still going to be selling to that market, but China is building their own chips.
Their own chip. Okay.
So long term, no, I don't think that's the answer. We talked about JD yesterday. JD with a nice pop this morning that's getting sold down. It's still red for the day, but the candle is red. It is still positive for the day. GP, you were saying Baidu. You had another name?
Baba?
Oh, I thought you were going to say FUTU or FUTU. It's kind of pulling into the 50-day right now.
Does anyone like CQQQ? Yeah, I mean it's China exposure. Was that Randy that asked? Yeah, it's a little bit different than KWEB. Here's a look at them both for you. This is CQQQ versus KWEB, so it actually has a little bit better performance. There you go.
Man, that looks good. Randy's always all over good names.
Randy, KWEB is a little bit different. KWEB is specifically internet companies or web companies, which is ubiquitous for technology anymore. But CQQQ is technology, so it'd be like buying the IVG or the QQQ. So or the SOX, right? SOXL, SMH, or QQQ. So they track very similarly.
Man, that RZ, what is it? RZLV. Man, that thing looks cheap and ripe.
RZLV.
I'd be happier to get it like between $4 and $5, but
was this a SPAC or did it reverse split a bunch of times or what happened here?
Let's see.
It looks like a SPAC. No, it's up at $11, not $10. I don't know. It could be a SPAC, I guess. Yeah, it could have been. If you have more information on RZLV, VK Twits, just let us know.
It's a UK-based company providing a platform between retailers and consumers using cutting-edge AI and machine learning. Huh. The amount of funds, just of note, from March through June, it jumped from 8 funds up to 55. That's kind of a big pop there.
That is a big pop. So those are hedge funds who have added it just in the last quarter.
Yeah.
From 8 to 55. That's significant.
Huh. Yeah, thank you. I'll throw that on my watch list.
Yeah, good call out. That's why we love the chat. Randy's usually the one doing the yeoman's work in here for us, giving us all these names, but we appreciate that, BK. Wow, this hour flew by. I guess Jay Powell's not joining us.
Dude, look at.
Can you believe that?
Looks like we're holding that low.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna rip. Look at Tesla. It's about to go green. Bring it. Sorry.
No, you can cheer. We're not in a press box. There's no cheering allowed in the press box, but there's cheering in your basement. There's cheering in your basement.
This is the first floor. Get it right. No, sorry.
I'm in the basement.
Huh?
I'm in the basement.
I know. I was in the basement last week, so I get it. But what was I gonna say? So guess what Netflix is doing? Anyway, I think that's the end of our show. Anyway.
Yeah, we're at time,
dude. Yeah.
Nick, last word.
Netflix and chill. Let's fucking go.
GP, last word.
Small caps gapping over all-time highs tomorrow.
Crypto. I was up to here. Now I'm up to here. Crypto. I love you. Bye. Have a great day. We'll see you next week right here on the Community Rip, Wednesday, 2 p.m.